Welcome back to the Rainbow Six North American League for our final game of the day. And really, honestly, this is one that I've been looking forward to for a long time. Let me take you back to stage number one. Beastcoast having a pretty decent stage. You know, trying to get to the major. They play Mirage. Should be a pushover. No, Mirage beats them, keeps them out of the major. Stage two, similar things happen, but it's even worse. Beastcoast gets beat by Mirage on Drip's birthday. Now, stage three, the situations are reversed. Mirage with a win here would pretty much lock in a major for themselves, and Beastcoast, the team on the outs in stage three, has a chance to play spoiler. Will we see the reversal? Will we see Mirage complete the 3-0 of Beastcoast in 2022? I can't wait to see.
Look, man, the thing is, we probably shouldn't even really be doing much analysis on this game in the first place because everything about the left side of that tail of the tape kind of tells the story. A winless Beastcoast roster who are 10th on attack, 10th on defense, obviously still have yet to win a match in this rivalry so far this year, and it just looks like there's not anything they can do to stop a Mirage team that, in spite of there being some bumps in the road and some attacking instability, are on a roll and are one regulation victory away from qualifying for a freaking major.
It's amazing, but I'm telling you, this is the situation. This is the exact kind of situation in which a team like Beastcoast can win a game, though.
And they've got some people in their corner. They've got some fans. Dark Zero and Exet are both relying on Beastcoast to get their first win, and it has to be regulation to stay competitive, to stay having a shot for the major. Dark Zero and Exet. Exet have literally already tweeted out, we missed the major because they don't think this game has a possibility for Beastcoast to go. And I told them,
see where that comes from.
Yeah, you're technically not out. And they're like, hey, listen, man, it's not looking good.
We're just calling it like we see it.
I mean, that's true. The numbers don't lie, but at the same time, one has to wonder a little bit. But let's talk about Beastcoast a little bit as we get into this match, our final game of the day here. And I mean, what more is there to say really than there has already been said with Beastcoast? We know the storyline for stage three, playing with their coach for a bunch of games didn't go well. They bring in Ferda, finally gets a visa stuff fixed, still doesn't go well. And now here we are, a winless Beastcoast, perhaps the first team to go winless in quite a while in NAL. You got to get something going, but it just looks impossible for this squad right now.
I mean, I think the mindset should be, and according to the coaching staff, is trying to be, build for the future, work on mistakes, establish a roster that can bounce back next year, have a good run. But is it actually going to be like that? Are we going to see this team stick together? It feels kind of unlikely. Just last match, going down 7-0 to SSG, pushes are feeling really slow. You know, things aren't exactly working out the way they should for Beastcoast. So I think there's a big potential disconnect between what the goals kind of are from the coaching staff and what they maybe should be for the players, and then maybe the actual reality of the mental state of this team that just doesn't look 100%.
There is always a small little bit of positive. There's the light at the end of the tunnel for Beastcoast. Sure, you can say all these things. It's low-hanging fruit. It's almost punching down of their 10th place in attack, their 10th place in defense, but they were playing with a coach for a majority that makes things difficult, and kind of the only thing they can do is go up. Beastcoast historically have been a good team in this spoiler role, and there is a little bit of bad blood between them and Mirage, especially for the players like Anthony and Surf and Slash, who understand firsthand exactly what was stripped from them.
Here's the problem, though. This Beastcoast squad, in spite of playing 4 games with their coach, if they were to go winless or have an incredibly bad round differential in spite of maybe getting 1 win here or there, I still don't think that this team is going to stay together. In spite of them bringing 2 guys in and all the different caveats we can talk about Beastcoast for this year, I think if you have that poor of a performance, I think there is not going to be a mentality that you can resurrect heading into next year. This team is already beginning to look slightly dead in the water, so if they want to have a future or a longevity or maybe do anything to assuage the doubts that I'm sure are cascading in on them because of their record this stage, then they have to win this game. They have to also probably win next game in order to maybe give us any hope that they're going to keep this team alive for qualifiers or at any point after, because as far as I'm concerned, this team is dead.
I agree. I mean, they were playing with their coach, sure, but they were practicing as a team with Ferda before the stage even began. So there's really no excuse at this point General Manager Doa says they go win this, you blow this team up. We'll see what happens. But let's go on the other side of the arena, talk about Mirage, a team that deservedly got a lot of flack earlier in stage 1, stage 2, but the additions of Dexter and Mohesi, along with the improvement of Melted especially, Kento coming in as a rookie, developing over time, and the leader, the pillar, the rock, Benji Mula. This team is looking strong in stage 3.
Things you never thought you were actually going to say about this Mirage squad is Benji popping off. He's still doing really good. Plus 10, he's positive on entry, 72% cost. There's not very much to say about Benji's play that's bad, other than the fact that he seems like one of those very pivotal pieces trying to hold their attacks together, and that's like the one thing you can really harshly criticize them on. From a defensive perspective, coming into today, Mirage were 3rd in the league on defenses, and they were 9 points above the average. They've been doing fantastic in that regard because they're able to match the tempo that other teams bring to the table, and they're able to either exploit it in most cases or completely dismantle whatever an attacking approach might be. But when they shift sides, that's where the concern comes in. So even if this team has an opportunity to make it to the major, that would be the primary thing I would be concerned with if this is the game that ends up locking them in for that right.
But the attacks from Mirage have improved significantly, even across these last 2 games. Looking back to what they did against Parabellum, they were able to have strong attacks, even with Blaz dropping a tactical nuke on the defensive roam.
True.
And that's really impressive. The biggest thing for me is when Mirage wants to get aggressive. You've been saying they've been swinging a lot on the defensive side, but it seems a little bit more calculated to me. And especially on their attacks, the biggest thing was those final 2 rounds on the trophy statuary attacks, where their floods were absolutely phenomenal. They were well timed, and it seems to me that Mohes has really grown into his role as that late round IGL shot caller.
Yeah, we've seen great things from Dexter. I think Mohesi's done an amazing job coming into this team and having a lot of impact. But there's one guy who's quickly grown to be my favorite player on this team, and it's got to be Melted. Melted has been such an important player for getting Mirage out of their slump that they even started kind of back, where a couple of weeks ago where they were kind of throwing games over and over and over again. The last few matches, Melted has been their key player on defense, been so consistent at clutching out those rounds, been very solid on smoke. We interviewed him, he talked about how it's just something he feels comfortable on, something that he knows he can play really well, and you can absolutely see that in his play. Now, my question for Mirage, and they may answer it today, is if you're going to a map other than Villa, and you probably aren't going to go to Villa for the 4th time, is he going to stay on those roles? Is he going to continue to play smoke, play those passive clutch roles on defense, or is he going to try something else? And if he goes a different direction, does that mean that we're going to see him see that same level of success?
Well, the question will be partially answered in just a moment because our map vetoes are in. We're going to find out what map we're going to here.
Well, let's see then. Coming forward first, Bank and Theme Park, both teams banning a map they have never won first thing on the board. Border and Chalet come through next. Chalet, it kind of hurts to have to ban against Mirage given they're on a 5-game losing streak, but when you take a look at this roster, it's not too bad. Their one and only game under this lineup was a map that they had a 6-1 lead against SSG on. And then there is actually the Villa ban coming from Mirage. So despite playing it back to back, they're going to ban it themselves.
It makes a lot of sense for me because Beastcoast did look the most potent when we saw them play Villa.
True.
And there's another map that is still left up right now where they were completely inept. It was very rough to see from Beastcoast. Sure, we can say it's all the way down at the bottom, but Jacob, surely there is no chance that last time I was here, it was TSM going to Theme Park for like the 4th time after they looked horrible. Right. And now there is still a small chance right now that Beastcoast go to Clubhouse, where they have looked so bad. It is a map that has been banned at a high priority from Mirage, but it's still left up in the table.
I'm waiting for it. It's Skyscraper or no.
Wow.
No.
We're going there.
No. Why? Why is this a thing? No. You just got 7-0'd on this thing yesterday, and you had the option to go to Skyscraper, which Mirage themselves have only played twice. You've played it twice. That seems like it's a far more even battleground, but no. It's Club again.
They haven't won it since 2020.
I mean, it's the redemption angle apparently for Beastcoast. Like Jacob just mentioned, getting 0-7 on it yesterday by SSG. I mean, I suppose maybe you, never mind. Let's just make some predictions here.
Shift things up, Beastcoast. Shift them up. If you're not in a position where you're going to win anything, you might as well go and experiment, try some different things out. If it's a role change, if it's expand your map pool, try something different. I mean, I understand if you think maybe there's something salvageable from an SSG game where they've already qualified for the major, but for the love of God, show me something interesting, please.
They're starting on the same side, too. They're starting on attack again.
Hey, second time's a charm. Jacob may have an aneurysm over there, but we'll see.
This
We'll
hurts
see how
my
it goes.
head.
Let's make some predictions. I've got a feeling I know which direction Jacob is going, but we need to check in with our casters first. Pengu and Intero. Easy pick for Mirage. Is that a sentence, first of all, you expected to hear someone say this here? And also, is it what you think going into this one? Looks tasty.
Just going to enjoy a nice cup of coffee as Mirage qualifies for the major. No big deal. What about you guys?
All right, that's one for Mirage.
Okay, so they did get 7-0'd, but it was close rounds. Minor things going a different way. Those rounds look differently.
You're not.
I think
not.
Beastcoast is going to
You're
win.
not.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's the Beast Coast pick from Pengu. What a brave, brave man. Well,
What an idiot.
I believe.
there's a thin line. There's a thin line, right?
It was small, minor details not going their way, and Slash has got to figure it out.
Did you see any of the... Never mind. Mirage is going to win.
Well, we'll let them sort
You
that
said
out.
you want the Chaos timeline. For that to happen,
I mean,
they have to lose.
I want it.
But you don't believe in it?
I absolutely don't believe
That's
it.
your
I just don't-
problem. I
Mirage
believe
is
in it.
2-0 against Beast Coast, and that was when Beast Coast were better teams and Mirage were worse teams.
That is true.
You can only lose so many times before you start winning.
That is
and it's
absolutely
almost
not how it
too late.
happens. That's how people
that's
play like
true.
40 games in ELO hell, and then they just keep losing.
One more.
Can't
Now,
end
that's
in a
some
loss, just
beautiful
one more.
analysis
Eventually
there.
it's gonna break.
You'll start winning eventually. That's not entirely true, though.
Ridiculous. Absolutely
Ask
ridiculous.
the 0-40 Shanghai Dragons in the Overwatch League if you...
Ask the
that does happen. That does
0-8
happen.
Beast Coast from stage 2 of last year. It's the exact same thing. They've done it before. They're going to do it again.
All right, well, we'll check back in with our casters in just a moment. Now, here at the desk, we apply logic, right? We look at stats, we
Mirage.
look at numbers.
Put Mirage up,
Jacob
please.
says Mirage.
Mirage.
The two of you, Mirage or Beast Coast?
Yeah, I mean, just
Canadian.
I mean, I've gambled before. I've gone for Beast Coast before. I've done this. I've made the same mistake that Nick has.
did,
I'm
yeah,
not
it's
going to
true.
make it a third time. I'm going back for Mirage.
All right.
There's
Daps.
some strength to what Nick was saying, that a lot of the rounds yesterday we were overcritical on Beast Coast, and I firmly believe that it's not as bad as we might believe. There were a couple of just key small things here and there, but it's not enough for me to go for Beast Coast. I don't think that the roster needs to burn quite yet, but Mirage, they look so dang good. I'm really proud of them with their growth, and I think they're locking in a major spot today.
All right. Another Mirage choice for our guest. Let's see what the coin says. It's going to be heads Beast Coast. It's going to be tails Mirage. That was a pretty good one.
That's tall.
With
Had a
the,
good
I
sound.
know,
So tall.
right?
It had a
What's the
good
result,
ding
though?
to it.
Oh, it's tails. The coin saying Mirage as well. It's not an illusion, except it is. That's by definition what a Mirage is. Change your motto. And the fans say Mirage. No big shock there. I think that's what a lot of people are expecting. Just Pengu, just the former winningest player in Rainbow Six Siege history. That's pretty much right. He's nodding. Yeah. I
think that's correct.
Exactly. Yeah, I think we could say that. Yeah. He believes in Beast Coast. Do Beast Coast believe in themselves? Does anyone else? We're going to find out. But first, we're going to look at our community poll. Which team will rely more on hero plays, Beast Coast or Mirage? Well, you know, I guess Beast Coast could use some heroes.
Yeah, who's making the hero plays if it's Beast Coast?
Anthony didn't look too
Surf?
bad yesterday. Anthony did not look that bad.
Sure. Anthony had probably his best game to stage.
That's true. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, the action begins. Mirage versus Beast Coast. Can Beast Coast finally get the revenge they've been looking for and prevent Mirage from going to the major? Will Mirage punch their ticket with a Beast Coast win? We'll find out after this.
I'm talking 6 a.m. tea times, 18 with the mayor talking land banks. I waited for it, gotta get mine. Snag a seat up at the table if my man can't. Head into a meeting, we're familiar with no briefcase. Just my mind in a free state. I got a plan through a vision, but it takes time. I'ma make mine. Summertime and then why? Summertime and then why? You know the drill by now. Summertime and then why? Get everything together, get the squad together, get the gang together. Summertime and then why? Summertime and then why? Started in the back office, now I run the front. Call the shots, make the deals, know the deal, know what's up. Too much for the books, then I put it in a tuck. Too much for the tuck, then I give it to my love. Once I make $1 million, man, $1 million won't be enough. Why struggle while I get it off the hush. Now it's jet blue miles, Rolex dials, frowns turn to smiles. Summertime and then wild. Now as we come to an end, summertime and then wild. And the falls upon us. I want you to bring that energy. Summertime and then wild. And run that thing back. Yeah. Until next year. Summertime and then wild. Yeah. And wild. Summertime and then wild. Yeah. We gone.
Final matchup of the day unfolds in front of our very eyes. Beastcoast versus Mirage, and if Mirage prevails here, they go to the Major in Sweden next month. Beastcoast still looking for their very first win of this stage, and they're going up against a team that they have yet to win against. Mirage is 2-0 on this stage and on this season's records, and that's actually quite surprising given that the old Beastcoast roster was traditionally better than this roster, and on top of that, Mirage's old rosters were significantly worse in terms of performance, and yet here we are. So, Beastcoast went to this match yesterday against Space Station and got 7-0'd. Do you think that there will be a better result here today?
Yeah, I mean, it can't get worse. So, absolutely better result.
It actually could get worse. If Mirage wins 7-0, flawless round, all 7 rounds.
Okay. I think not only is Beast going to put rounds on the table and feast tonight, but they're going to win. I'm telling you. Also, if I'm correct, I overtake you in prediction win rate, which means I get to win twice tonight in this single matchup.
You should be ahead of me on predictions.
You've been casting for way longer than I have. Like
Doesn't
way
matter predictions. The thing is that I, as a play-by-play caster, am not an expert on the game. You, as the color commentator, are the expert on the game.
No.
You should have a better grasp of who is going to win a match than I should.
I disagree. You have been doing this for longer, and experience, it matters above anything else.
I mean, I will say, I greatly appreciate the fact that you put such confidence in my abilities.
Might have been misplaced, after all. With these words that you're spitting towards me. With ill intent. But you know what? We'll see. I might overtake you, and that's all that matters.
Hibana, Nook, Azami, and Owamai.
Okay.
With how much trouble they had with Bandit yesterday, I'm actually kind of surprised.
Don't go there.
Kind of surprised that Beastcoast did not.
Don't go there.
Did not do
Listen,
that.
okay. My theory, I'll say it one last time, for Beastcoast, is that they looked at that game as a VOD review. They looked back at it, and they were like, this is a problem. That was a problem. This had to be done better. And if they fix all those small, tiny, 10% mattering, tiny details with massive impact, they actually would have gone toe-to-toe in their previous matchup yesterday. So I believe, I am hoping, praying, and really just believing that they have done that. And that they will rectify that, fix it, and then show up today. And we'll see if I'm absolutely wrong. Hopefully I'm not. But yeah, the Bandit's on the board. Bandit tricking first round is being enabled. Mirror being brought from Mo. Kento on the Frost. This is a staple as it gets kind of lineup for this particular German defense here on round number 1 between Beastcoast and Mirage. Now, Mirage as a team on defense, very strong, very aggressive, very difficult to play against. They do not give you any ground for free whatsoever. Beastcoast as a team, period, they just struggle. So I really am curious to see how it's going to bode for them starting on the attacking side of all places against one of the best defending teams in the NAL. Opening round is going to bring a lineup that is pretty safe. Double Heartbreed, we get the Lion, we have Grenades, we have Soft Breed and Xeno on the Sophia. We do have a very stable, clear objective in mind, consistency, and the ability to deal with any problem thrown our way. Now the first obstacle is going to be Benji on the Bandit on the CCTV wall. If you want to open up that wall, gotta clear out that position. Right now, there's a Gemini clone. Not gonna do much but grant you a bit of visibility and information, but that's it.
That's the first EU1D that we hear go off. That's Ferda running on the Lion. First kill is going to go to Benji, and that's Ferda down for the count. The Maritime Maniac, as Jesse called him. Now it's Surf to take some damage, and look at that. Bandit tricking still going quite well.
That's not great.
Not great for who?
That's not great for Beastcoast or for me. If you see Bandit kill your teammate behind the mirror window and you try and Selma charge it after with no nade or anything follow-up, then you're just praying that Bandit has pre-placed all his 4 Bandit charges at that point, which is not the case. You have nades and Anthony. That could help you out greatly from this window position.
Trouble is that you've got the Jaeger's ADSs that are up.
Yeah.
If they're positioned by the window, do some damage. Look at this. Anthony's got the beat on it. The nades in pocket, don't want to die without them being used. Benji still holding off this jacuzzi wall. Beastcoast will send Zeno down below, maybe up the stairs to try and catch the back of Mirage. Has he been droned in is the real question.
I don't think so.
Certainly doesn't seem that way. Anthony taking some damage. Now Surf throwing out another thing. Is Selmas, have they taken care of the charge or not? Mohase throwing out the Nitro cell, but Zeno just sprints into the middle of the bomb site, but they catch him anyway. Kento has his teammates back. Benji still in this position, takes them all down, and how about that? What did I say? 7 flawless rounds? I said 7 flawless rounds. Mirage take round 1 flawlessly.
Okay, I saw a couple of problematic situations occur in that round, and they're very similar.
I saw 5 of them.
They're very similar to what happened yesterday as well. But that's just the first round, Parker. We still got more to go. Now, CCTV is actually where I want to see Beastcoast attack the most, because it's where they were arguably the most, or the closest to the most successful that they were on their attacking side. They had good theories going into the round. They brought the sense with that smoke wall. Dexter already off the bat choosing to go with the Warden, already expecting some sort of shenanigan play from Beastcoast. Now, Beastcoast love to use smokes across the table, whether it's the Ying, the Capitao, or the Sense. They love denying visibility from their opponent, so Dexter bringing that Warden means that they've done their research. Of course, Dexter is bringing a C4. We don't need triple shields, as Kento and Mo are bringing 1 apiece in that Frost and the Smoke as well. Short extension onto the Master Bedroom side, reinforcing that bathroom wall to extend just a tiny bit. And 4 attacker repicks on the attacking side. Mostly just swapping on who gets to play what here, but we are bringing the Capitao, Thatcher, Sledge, and Thermite. So we have to deal with the Bandit of Melted. We have to show that we're not going to get Bandit tricked again. And that'll be a golden star if we can do that successfully.
All right. Gym and Bedroom already off of the board. Every other bomb site playable here on Clubhouse. Let's reference the 4 plays that we've seen at a club up to this point. Okay. Let me start again. The most common bomb site played far and away. It's just one of those days, man.
Yeah.
Church and Arsenal downstairs won 38% of the time by the defenders. So if you're an attacker, you think that you're in a pretty good spot. That's great. Upstairs on Cash CCTV, overwhelmingly favored by the defense, and they have won.
Oh, he missed the fire.
Quite so well. No!
He missed the fire.
Slash misses the fire. How does that happen? Can they bandit trick effectively? It looks like that might be the case. The second fire connects. Melted, now pushed off of his spots. And there you go. You managed to do something on Beastcoast's team that wasn't able to be done against Space Station. Let's get that wall opened up. Dexter, the only one dead so far. Beastcoast with that first pick. This will not be a flawless round.
So good. So there was a change to Capitao like a very long time ago. There's like a bullet drop on his fire arrow, so you gotta line it up correctly. It does drop in the air. He missed the first, got the second, but using Capitao on that 51 server window with Wamai being banned off the board from Mirage themselves, it enables the Capitao fire to strike true every single time, as only Wamai's magnet or the Aruni gates can stop that piece of utility. That's step number 1 done. Now the second step for Beastcoast is, are you either going to go for a garage attack or go towards the master bedroom instead? You can't do both. It's too much map control, too little time. So you have to make a decision. Because both fire arrows had to be spent from Slash, that means you don't have that easy option of clearing out Benji on this catwalk rafter. You have to use and rely on the single grenade from Anthony and no real ADS besides Surf's flashbangs from that garage door.
The nade tossed up by Anthony. Benji getting out of the way, but there's a lot of gunfire. Beastcoast seemingly prepared for this one and doing a good job of stopping Mirage in and around the bomb site. Final 40 seconds now. Kento posted up inside a cache, sitting by the bomb chassis. He's got a line of sight over to rafters. That's where Beastcoast have stacked things up. But he gets swung on by Surf right before Surf hits the frost mat. He'll need to be retrieved. A flawless round for Beastcoast is very much possible. Melted and Mohesi will have to be the two to shut it down. Where are they, though? Raptors control very firmly for Beastcoast. One Nitro Cell still in the back pocket. Beastcoast's biggest issue is the time. Anthony is in. Down goes Zeno. Anthony evading that toxic smoke. Mohesi is down, so Melted will need to clutch. Diffuser being planted. He stops it in its tracks. He just needs to live for a second or more, but Ferda hops onto that Diffuser. Melted knows the timer's going, and there's the Nitro Cell, but it gets shot away. He has to come back in. He knows that there's one on the ground. Ferda will watch quite intently at full HP. Can Melted pull off this clutch? He's allowed them both to get outside and reposition, but he's in a dangerous spot. He can long arm it from the doorway.
Oh no,
he can long arm it. I don't know if they're going to be able to get there in time. They're going to need to rush, but Melton might actually pull this off, but Surf gets him in the final seconds. Oh, that's as close, too close as you're going to get. And Beastcoast tie the game.
Ferda, the hero of the round there, he shoots the C4 that would have ended the round for them, and I have to say, the original plant position decision was not the greatest. I mean, you get shot from construction to that soft wall and you just die. You gotta tuck on the opposite side, or you gotta go on a different location. Either way, they get the round. It's not a 7-0. They show success, and they fix the problems of the past on the CCTV attacking side. The only issue is there are 4 playable bomb sites on Clubhouse, and all 4 can and likely will get played, which means you gotta have this same problem-solving success many more times. It's a great start, though, the second round.
Good lord. Good lord. What? Oh.
Very close.
What an exhilarating end of the round that was. It does not get any closer than that.
It's always dangerous when you plant in a uncommon spot, because I don't think most players in their careers have probably not had to defend that particular position. So when you go on the rappel outside the building in the CCTV breach, you might not realize you actually have no line of sight towards the diffuser case, which means you can't shut down any attempt to counter defuse it or to defuse it. But Surf is the hero. Sprints with pistol in hand, saves the round. Claymore being put down right now to stop an offensive approach here from the defending side of Mirage. Basement Roam Clear is the name of the game. Catwalk Raptors being played aggressively. Bandit batteries on the CCTV wall to support that position. And again, problem solving and decision making is what Beastcoast has to be superb on. Dexter playing main stair, shutting down drone, and again just making Beastcoast's life difficult. By killing these drones, they're gonna have to go in blind and just keep sacrificing more and more to gain the same kind of information. But at some point, they will have to act. Otherwise, well, the round ends right here.
0.5 seconds, just a little bit less than half of a second. If Surf misses that shot, then it gets won by Mirage. How close can you possibly get? And we've seen a whole lot of them. It seems to happen in the EU League more than anywhere else. Where Europeans just get ever so close to getting the diffuser either planted or disabled, just can't make it work. So, bomb site was open again. The only site that is locked is that gym bedroom bomb site that was won flawlessly by Mirage back in round number 1. Instead, the team will go downstairs to the bomb site that is not often won, by the way, by the defenders. Again, 38% of the rounds won by defense, not a lot. Anthony was in hot pursuit. And he misses out on 2 separate players from Mirage, who scamper out of the garage and head back into the safety of Church and Arsenal.
I'm a bit surprised that both members of Mirage falls back there, because normally you would not expect 2 roamers, so maybe when, you know, when Anthony sees that one member fell back, you can assume the second one, or that there isn't the second one rather. But they play it safe. They play the 5v5 with a minute to go on the clock, and now it's Slash, the big brain behind Beastcoast, who has to problem solve the plant situation here, because it is challenging. You're up against 2 C4s, 2 impact grenades, but no smoke. A plant is definitely possible. Cover has to be perfect. Oh, and that's not the way to start it off.
Benji still trying to trick. Are we in the bandit tricking meta? Mohesi, a huge C4 on the Surf and Ferda. That is not the result that they want. Mirage taking down Anthony now as well. Slash upstairs. Exothermic charge in back pocket. Only 1 remaining. Zeno, no stuns on Zoph. He's going to get swung on anyway. No stuns, no hope at all. Slash in a 1v5. He'll march down the main stairs, narrowly avoid a Nitro cell. Fire away, a bit of desperation. Could he get lucky onto a pick? He does onto Mohesi before a bunch of Mirage gang up on him. They could have just let him go. They didn't need to. Could have been a flawless round for Mirage, but wasn't. They'll regain the lead.
Yep, 2-1. Bomb side, and of course, downstairs now locked, but Jim opens up again, which means a problem for Beastcoast. The C4 above the reinforcement, or on that self-destructible wall at least, gets 2 kills. It's very nice. Nicely done. And that mirror on that church wall is very difficult to deal with, especially because the bandit trigger has been so accurate from Mirage so far. Mo, or Benji in this case, in the bandit, they're always in the right position, the right time to get some value out of that gadgetry, whereas when you play Mute, for example, you're just slapping down jammers everywhere and hoping for the best. With bandit, you gotta be at the right position, the right time to get any sort of value, because Thatcher's on the table, secondary EMPs, so many ways to deal with them. We are going to get a quick rehost here. There was a drone bug on one of the members in the attack and lineup. We'll be back in just a second here. Hopefully, just a second. Usually, just a second.
Usually just a second. Do you want to compliment them?
No. No, I feel like I've done a good job at complimenting players at how fast they had rejoined the lobby, that I don't have to do it again until they prove me wrong, if that makes sense. You know, there's 2 different kinds of teachers in life, Parker, right? There are people who believe their students, they start on 100%, like the highest grade possible, until you prove them that you're wrong. Then there are the ones where you have to earn it, where you start on 0% and you gotta work your way up. I have no idea which one I am, but it used to be that like Pro League players in all regions, NA, EUL, LATAM, APAC, whatever, would always be so slow at rejoining the server. Some people go for like a pee break, and it's like, guy, you gotta get in the server, my guy. And oh, my bad. That's not the case anymore. In NAL, we're, you know, as you can see on the screen, we're on LAN, we're right then and there. No one is going anywhere. And even if you did, your teammate or your coach could join the lobby before you. So, yeah, we are really efficient these days. And even UL, who has their own rehost stuff as well, they're also, whenever I'm watching at least, pretty good at it. So good job, everybody. I'll say it. Good job. Got a bit of a dance going with those hand warmers.
Almost everybody back in, by the way.
Shake, 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 shake.
What are you singing?
It was a Metro something. Da da. How does it go? Oh, you should know this song actually. I've lost my. I don't know how it goes. We'll figure that out another time. Metro Shake, is that what it's? I'm gonna look it up. 1 second.
Oh no, it's Metro Station.
Is it? Yeah, right. You know that song. I knew.
Yeah, I know that song.
Yeah.
It's awful.
It's
absolutely horrific.
It's
song.
definitely not one of the best songs in the world.
No, it isn't.
But it was applicable to the situation on screen.
All right, so let's break down these 3 rounds so far, because we've seen Gym in bedroom, we've seen Cash CCTV, we've seen Church downstairs.
Okay.
Obviously, Gym and Church very decidedly in Mirage's favor. The 2 rounds that Mirage have won, there's only been a single kill, and it was because, and I don't want to take this away from Slash, but it literally was just because 3 separate players in Mirage were trying to get the final kill. They could have very easily just waited for him for the final 3 seconds. They had case control. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing that Beastcoast were going to do there. That round was lost.
Agreed.
It could have been another flawless round. They decided to get a little bit cute with it, whatever. Cash obviously not going in their favor. What really went wrong in that Cash defense?
Honestly, the Cash defense was just, it was good problem solving by Beastcoast. I mean, they got the bandit trick situation handled out, and they took Mirage successfully. They had 1 grenade to work with, and I do want to say that Mirage made a slight misplay, because the Garage Catwalk player member should never die from the person on the CCTV breach, right? That's the last way to go out, but that's unfortunately what happened for them. So, it makes sure Beastcoast playing it well, and Mirage having a small misstep just put their odds against them. Of course, Beastcoast, they won their gunfights, as you do in any FPS game. The thing is, when you're on the gym attack, it's not as simple as this, because now you gotta worry about so much more of the map, right? On a CCTV attack, all you care about is that server breach, then garage. That's it. Right now, if you want to roam clear, you gotta take CCTV breach, cash, construction, office, then you're hitting the bomb site with Master Bedroom and gym, or you can try what Beastcoast did last time that did not work in their favor. Go Jacuzzi breach and just fall over, because there's like a mirror window and a bandit tricking there. Note that Mo is keeping 1 mirror window in his pocket right now, likely waiting to see what kind of attack direction Beastcoast will come from, and then to allocate that mirror window, you know, consciously making a decision as to the counterplay. Benji gonna try and bandit trick. Flashbang checks that there's no ADSs. Sophia stuns go through the drone hole to make sure that no bandit trick occurs. That is one way to deal with the bandit trick, by the way, because if Sophia stun a bandit, you will interrupt the animation and the bandit battery does not get placed down.
Look at this late mirror window going up. Excellently played by Mirage. That pocket Mira strategy has come out before. We used to see it on the old Oregon map, but the only gamble is if the Mira dies early, then you don't gain that intel. Obviously, as the mirror window can't go down, it dies with you. Additionally, if the attackers decide to sprint in, you might not have enough time to get your setup underway. Beastcoast a bit lethargic, and that's what allowed Mirage to do that. Logic Bomb goes out, by the way, from Beastcoast. Virtus still has one in back pocket. Lots of hard breach potential for Beastcoast. Still 2 Selmas in back pocket for Surf. You saw the intended target was over towards that mirror window, the black mirror that was looking towards Jacuzzi from bathroom. Is that where it's going to go again? Well, you got to deal with the bandit first.
Xeno can open up the mirror window canister from below, by the way. As you can see by that yellow ping, you can open the floor, get a line of sight, and you can open it up. I like the fact that Benji is actively contesting the lineup to get some damage onto Xeno, maybe a kill.
Oh, they just walked right in. Surf's walked right in.
What?
And he finds that he's a free Jim. He could easily get the diffuser down. Benji inside a bathroom, and Aid goes out, takes Kento down with him. Beastcoast learning from this one. They've now got control. Slash will watch as Surf gets the diffuser down, and Melted will be dusted off by Slash, who now walks into the bathroom. It's Dexter in a 1v5. Almost a flawless for Beastcoast, denied by Dexter. He finds Surf outside on the roof. There's more to be had. He doesn't know if there's someone behind the black mirror, as he can't see around it. Seems to think it. 4 remaining players from Beastcoast. Slash inside a bathroom. You have to pick your poison, but Xeno decides to be the distraction, and he'll die for team if needed. Beastcoast tie up the game. They learn from their mistakes. Maybe they took that rehost a bit more seriously and were able to sort out some issues. Now there's apparently another bug that will see us again rehost, so we'll await the admin's calls.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, we will.
But it was almost a flawless. I mean, that is also like practically a flawless round for Beastcoast. And again, like a very well executed round. It started off kind of scrappy where Surf rushes the breach, sees the bandit prone dancing, breaking him down on the floor, but then kind of ignores him and just goes in towards that gym area instead. But the follow-up was there. Slash got aggressive on the thermite. He had done his breaching job already. Gets the kill onto Benji. Plant goes down. Anthony, I think, gets a grenade kill in the midst of that chaos. And then post-plant is nice and safely played out. Dexter is so far roaming off the other side of the map. Can't quite contest or deny anything. Sure, he gets that 1 kill on the ace outside the master bedroom / gym window, but that really doesn't make a difference in that round at that point as you're in a 1 versus 4 with the diffuser planted. That means out of 4 attacking rounds so far, Beastcoast have won 2 of them, and in both of those victories, they planted on the diffuser and they got the opening kill. A 3-3 split here would be a great scenario for Beastcoast. If they can get 4 rounds, that would be very impressive. Have to see how far they're going to take this and how far they can go. We're almost back in the server, just double checking all the settings and the bomb site lockdown rotation so the teams can go in the right order again. Otherwise, we'll have to rehost one more time to fix that if a defending team wants to go to a site that is then locked because of a mistake. So
hopefully that's not the case.
No,
because we want to get in the action as much as possible. See, the thing is that while we're on these tech pauses, we always tell you the teams are not able to talk to their coaches, but they can talk to each other. So if you are looking to try and build some momentum, or if you are dealing with something that you think is absolutely a problem and needs extra time to walk through it, this is actually quite advantageous for you. I have no doubt that Beastcoast knew that they were going to gym bedroom again because it got unlocked. It was a very favorable site for Mirage. I would rush to go back there were I them, and they did so. But Beastcoast had all that extra time to sit down and discuss it. They confronted the problem with the bandit head on, made it so that the mirror window was not anywhere near as crucial, and then very quickly took control of Jim. And with it, the rest of the dominoes all started to fall.
That leads us to round number 5. We're back in CCTV, where last time Beastcoast opted for that garage-oriented attacking side choice. Mirage bringing a similar lineup as to before. No Warden for Dexter this time, on Valkyrie instead to get some information. Maybe some plant denial this time with those vertical C4s at their disposal. And we're gonna have to take a look at Beastcoast attack and lineup, because that is going to tell us how they're going to problem solve once again the potential issue of bandit tricking that is now melted. Slash is once again gonna go onto the Capital. That's gonna prompt Surf to go from Ace onto Thermite, as Thermite is arguably the best Heartbreaker to bring for these CCTV and Gym Jacuzzi walls. You're gonna get a nice big opening to gain both line of sight and entry point, and it's also the fastest heart-breaching gadget to activate on a wall compared to the size that it brings you. Also, of course, it makes it harder to bandit trick because it is a faster acting gadget, and it does appear that Beastcoast will go for the same similar clear. EMPs goes out, Capital Fire that 51 server window. The question now is, how are Mirage going to respond to this? Because if they're not going to change anything around, well, actually, I might have spoken too fast. We're going to change their approach. I like this. Maverick's going to make a hole. We can fire through that hole, EMP the wall, then exothermic charge it. This is actually a very clean way to do it. It does cost you another operator pick on the Maverick, but besides that, it's going to be a very clean-cut experience, I think.
I was gonna say
There's no EMPs.
I was defaulting.
There's no EMPs.
I was defaulting to my old belief. Oh yeah, Maverick has nades. Doesn't anymore. I was gonna say, oh, Mav could just nade through it. I was like, I saw the nades on the team. I'm like, oh, no, Sledge has them now.
There we go. Oh yeah, small thing there. There was no EMPs, but we got it. Maverick makes a feed hole as well. I think Maverick might have mistaken it as well, but he's like, he made the nade hole, but then nothing came out of it.
I mean, you could have run the mini EMPs on the Sledge, but instead,
yeah,
you run nades instead, because if you feel that you can get it open without the EMPs, then nades become especially valuable. You wouldn't have any explosives on the hands of Beastcoast. For backup, just in case something went awry with the Thermite or the Maverick, you have the hard breach gadgets on Capital. I imagine they're going to want to put that on the exterior wall leading into construction, maybe onto one of the garage walls, or maybe inside construction itself, depending on where that last exothermic charge from Surf went.
Seems to be another garage attack. The one big key difference is Slash has one more fire to go. Red pin comes out, fire gets tossed, and now Benji is in a very big trouble. He gets taken out, melted, hiding on Catway Rafters, could get a kill or two here, unless he gets droned out.
The team that's gotten the first pick has gone on to win the round every single time. That means a Beastcoast victory would be had. Well tossed out by Melted, and despite the attempts from Beastcoast to shoot the Nitro Cell out of the sky, they come up a little bit short. Now it's Anthony with that nade in hand. It'll go down. Melted realized he was dead, but he takes Anthony with him. You're not trapped in here with me, or I'm trapped in here with you. No, you're trapped in here with me. And they ensure that it's mutual destruction. 3v3. Construction has not been a focus so far for Beastcoast. And oh my goodness, Surf walks into the same frost mat at the top of those rafter stairs. Zeno making sure that red is not as crucial for Beastcoast. SMG can't be handled by Mohesi. Zeno continues to walk forwards. Kento is farther back. Dexter shut down. They pinned it all on the Nitro Cell. Instead, it's Kento now as he gets both of them. And he clutches the round for Mirage. Goodness gracious. What an end to both of these cash sites that we've seen from Mirage.
So back and forth. I mean, you think, okay, C4 downstairs. They just open up that hatch. Okay, that gets shut down. Right before that, all right, garage control. Frost Trap kicks in. Nade comes through, but Melted gets the kill onto Sledge at the last second before the nade and the crossfire comes into play. And then you see this. Kento gets the first easy kill, forcing the second member of Surf off the plant because there's 0.5 seconds left. And either if Surf doesn't get the kill there, the round goes to Mirage, either because of time or because the fuse is dropped in a difficult position to pick it up on. And the last member, of course, was Slash downstairs, nowhere nearby to help. Beastcoast came oh so close again, but time really was a problem for them. Had to rush that final moment into the round. And honestly, I hate to say this, if Surf had more health in that initial final gunfight, he might have actually won the round. But because he walked into that same frost mat 2 times in a row, he was on 20 HP, and that's not really a position you want to be in to take a gunfight against the Frost, because that gun will kill you in 1 bullet at that point, and that is not going to end well for you. Basement we go again. Again, similar lineup from Mirage. Bandit on CCTV wall. 1 member on that catwalk rafters. That's going to lock down 1/2 of the map that we see right here on the right-hand side of the screen, the east side. Then we have one member of Dexter on the main stairs, and then 2 members in the bomb side. Mo playing deep on side, Melted playing in that kind of like link position, linking both the side and the roamers together. He's going to hold the rotate and give them a way back if they need to through either garage or blue stairs.
I was hoping for a stage defense, but we'll have to see if Beastcoast opts to go there. We didn't really see a lot of Beastcoast in their previous Clubhouse endeavor because they lost after their very first defense to Space Station. So Mirage again fall off with about a minute off of the clock, scoot their way back down into the more protective portion of Church and Arsenal.
I like the drone work because we saw Yeti from SSG hiding in kitchen.
Just gonna say
that. Yeah.
Shut up and drone, and it seems like Beastcoast understood the message.
Yep.
So
That's like that. Improvement, right? Like, as tough as words can be in the server during a game, if you learn from them, then you really are the winner. So, great job there, Serve. Benji taking a ton of damage from what I assume is a grenade, or some sort of explosive utility at least. Must have been. I say that, but there's no nades in the attacking lineup, so did he see what happened?
yeah.
It was an explosion, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no... I actually have no idea what happened.
I'm not sure. Maybe somebody can look back. There's all this little damage that does get done. We're always confused about.
Yeah.
Both explosives and a stun used from the Moto hatch, but look at Melted above.
Oh.
He actually just saw somebody, but he just got droned out. And he still wins the engagement on Neferta. Oh, no, 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 no. There was a drone up there, and it didn't matter at all. Melted, still tussling.
It's a really difficult position. Because of his impact grenades as well, he can now open up the hatches or even create soft destruction on the floor above and deny something from the members of Beastcoast on the attack inside, or go for a drop in the flank.
You know, you got one player of Beastcoast by Dirt. You've got another at the moment inside a kitchen, and Zeno in Dirt's making an awful racket. Slash was the one inside a kitchen. He gets out-dueled by Dexter. Don't know how that engagement was actually going, and there's Melted on the flank to do some serious damage, and it's really ugly, but he gets it done over Anthony the first half. 4-2 for Mirage.
Not the split that Beastcoast wanted. They really need a 3-3 split, I would have to say, in my opinion. Because of this, they would have to go almost flawless on defense to have a leg to stand on. Gonna opt for Church as their starting choice of defense. Have to see how they approach it. Mirage, they are a defender-favored team. That's why they're the strongest. Now, they're not useless on their attacks, but they are weaker on this side. Oh, bar. Never mind. We got a bar.
There we go. I said we would have to see Beastcoast do it, right?
You did say that. And then they showed it.
And then they showed it. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. When Beastcoast defended in their match against Space Station yesterday, they went downstairs to Church. Here, by the way, is what we're looking at. If Mirage get all 3 points, then they are through. Going to overtime is not good enough. A regulation loss right now looks unlikely, but it is still obviously a possibility. A 4-2 half. Beastcoast can go 5-1 on their half, and that's it. They get a W in the books. Unsure exactly if it'll happen, but if you're a fan of Mirage, if you've looked at the way that Mirage has played over their entire tenure here in the North America League, well, I hope you're just as excited as I am. And I will say this, I am unabashedly excited at the idea of Mirage going to the major.
Yeah. That's something that if you said that at any other point, you'd be like, no, they're not. Like, there's just no way they are, right? But they started off stage 3 in a really good note, and they've only really gotten better since then. The very opening match is like, okay, there is some potential in this lineup. Sure enough, they're showing it every single week, every single Playday. Making quick work on the entry right now, just storming through Garage. Good drone work, granting them enough information to make that decision confidently, and might have trapped Serve inside of Cash, but no, he gets away scot-free. No aggressive line being held, but the drone duty right now is doing great work. We're storming through still. We have active information constantly on that roamer. We can't go through the rotate, that sucks.
Yeah, Dexter's having some problems going through there. That's okay. He'll just decide to go through the other doorway where nobody is watching. You want this upstairs control. The linchpin for a lot of successful attacks is that gym side of the map where Zeno still is, and that's where Mirage will have to chase these members of Beastcoast off of their spots. They're perched up because of how vital that part of the map is. Once you can control that, you can see the pool table down below. You can get a good drop. If somebody decides on the attacking team to go through church as well, then they end up in an even better spot, and you've got control of half of that first floor, which ends up being so crucial. No real charge on, or no real try on that wall to stop the exothermic charge from going off. Instead, Beastcoast have allowed Mirage to open up Jacuzzi wall and now get themselves into a better position.
Typically, you don't full clear the top floor here, you just take construction and CCTV, but you can full clear it if you're fast enough. So because that early, fast, quick entry from Mirage, they have the time to make this play if they want to and get a kill or two as well.
I really don't like where Zeno is right now, but I think he has a good idea that you have to take the engagement. 50 seconds to go. You need to swing onto this breach over by Jacuzzi. You could have gotten spotted by Bathroom, but Mirage have now fallen off of Jacuzzi entirely. So Zeno, while he was in the line of fire, seems to be in a much safer position. Ferda the first kill, but it's traded back immediately. Both teams lose one apiece. And down goes Ferda. Again, the team that gets the first pick has gone on to win every single round so far. For Beastcoast, you have to hope that this continues on. Look at that. Great coordination. Zeno from above. Down goes Mohesi. Diffuser picked back up by Melted. It's a 3v3, but there's Yokai's on the board. So you need to find Slash and you need to punish him. Does he have a sight on Melted? Yes, he does, but he doesn't stop him. Melted gets the Diffuser down before taking a lot of damage. Zeno falls, and Surf will join him in the afterlife. Inside a strip, it's Slash to behead Melted. He has marks on at least one of the two remaining players. Diffuser quite a ways away. Slash needs to show up huge for Beastcoast, and he gets one on Nikento. Benji is the last one to deal with. Benji Mula is going to cash checks, snap necks. Slash on the Diffuser trying to draw out Benji. Doesn't work. He goes back on it. 10 seconds to go. Now Benji can hop on and find him and finish him off. No opportunity for Slash when he knew the clock was working against him. Mirage 5-2.
5-2, yes they are. They're looking very strong. It was theoretically a good defense from Beastcoast, but that Echo Yokai stun not really going in their way really made things difficult for them. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but it looked like it was just like the angle didn't quite line up. The bar just kind of blocked it towards that initial hit, or towards the hit at the end. And bomb goes down. Postman again so strong because a member of Mirage was up above. It's a near impossible postman to ever win as a defender in that scenario, because you'll hear every single individual take off the defuse. It's a 7-second timer. You can wait for the third or fourth tick, then go for the pre-fire. You're almost guaranteed to win. Got the poll. Which team will rely more on hero plays? Beastcoast or Mirage? And you guys said... That's very close to it.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, I can see both sides, right? Beastcoast, they have to make hero plays because they're a scrappier team, like they're a less successful team. Mirage is like the king of hero plays because they individually win so many rounds time and time again. I mean, when we see someone like Dexter play on Villa, he will just go for the Kento as well, like go for crazy, ridiculous swings and just win them more often than not. And that really is the strength of Mirage. Not many teams can contain them and match them one-to-one in both their aggression, but also their success in gunfight skill. That is definitely where they shine. Mirage won their first initial attack, but they need to find more. We are now downstairs in the basement, so now we have to talk about the roam clear. Unless, of course, you opt for a bomb site rush, which we haven't seen much of on Clubhouse because there's no easy access points directly to the bomb site outside of dirt. And dirt has a single doorway, which is not the ideal position to rush. We're gonna roam clear from master bedroom over. So Jacuzzi wall gets opened up. We got 3 members. 1 can drone, 2 can follow. Rush on in, take some ground, and hopefully start taking away this map control from Beastcoast.
Surf posted up at the top of red stairs. Hatches open. Mirage have control of what appears to be the western portion of the map over by that gym Jacuzzi wall that we talked about many, many times. Ferd has fallen off. He will join Surf over by red, and that's just a little bit over a minute. But look at Benji on the upside down. Repel gets 1 kill. The follow-up on Ferda does serious damage, but he gets away with his life intact. No damage done at all to Mirage, and they find themselves in a great spot with over half the round to go.
And now this is where the hero plays kind of have to come to fruition, because if not, I don't know how Beastcoast is going to have a way back into the round. They have Toxic Babe, sure, 2C4s, but with 1 minute and 20 seconds left to go, Mirage have everything going for them. And you see that floor bang right there forces both the Mazers players immediately back towards the bomb site because, oh, he must know where we are with that pre-fire. And well, he didn't. It was a guesswork. Bar camera was alive, he got shot momentarily after. Church wall not triple reinforced, surprisingly enough, despite the fact that there is no mirror being played.
Well coordinated there. They pinged
Yeah.
a Melted, was able to take advantage of that. Ferda down inside of Church, just a little under a minute now as Mirage hunt the remaining players of Beastcoast. Ferda was already quite injured, so there wasn't much that they had to deal with. Melted waiting for assuredness that he can drop and will not lose his life in the process. If any player, rather, on Beastcoast tries to cross over through the hallway, then Mirage has their eyes on it. Now they're losing out on all of this wall that had been set up before the Toxic Canister chips away at the HP of Kento and Mohesi there at the bottom of main stairs. Kento's still there, Mohesi elsewhere, slash deep inside of the bomb site right now. If there's a drop towards B, they'll deal with it. Look at that, gunfire going in, and suddenly Beastcoast is winning this gunfight. It's into a 2v2, Benji goes down and it's Dexter. What the hell just happened? Oh my goodness, Nick.
They held the ground. I mean, Anthony in this peculiar position behind the box and the shield just stayed alive. Toxic Babes went out. Sure, he was flashbanged like crazy, but the crossfire was there for Beastcoast. They basically played around a single member, really luring Mirage into the crossfire and then taking advantage of their positioning. And that's a victory there for the defensive side. Thing is, you can't go basement again. It's locked now for 2 rounds. You need to win on either bar, gym, or CCTV. And arguably, the way Beastcoast is playing, I think basement is their best choice. It's their best bomb site because they can sit comfortably and not have to make too many decisions. And kind of Mirage do the work for them. But here, you have to extend, where Service playing, inside of cash CCTV. You have to get proactive. And with how fast Mirage are getting into the building, I am fearful for how that's going to work because Beastcoast either going to fight very early on or fall back very early on, neither of which is super preferable if you're trying to extend out. It's all about playing down the clock and playing it slow. But as the attacking team, you can dictate the pace. That's what Mirage seems to be doing so far in the first 2 rounds.
Well, they lined him up and they knocked him down. Mirage had taken 2 players from Beastcoast out of action, but when they dropped through Moto, they did not account for the unknown variable, which was not having control of Blue. That was ultimately their undoing. I think there was 3 kills for Zeno from that position. At least from the top of my mind. I could be completely wrong.
It was at least 2, I'll give you that much. Could have been a 3rd.
And they pushed them back very successfully. Mirage just need 1 more round to guarantee themselves overtime. We'd like to remind you that Mirage's only window to clinching the major is from a regulation win. So if they go to OT and they win an OT, that's great, but it's not enough points with what points are remaining for their opponents to guarantee themselves an appearance in Sweden for that final major of the year.
So a bit of gunfire come out there from Slash, hiding in the basement. Anthony aggresses out moment. It was a brief moment. C4 goes out. Ton of damage towards Kento. Might pay off later on.
This chip damage that we've talked about time and time again, the usage of Finka in previous metas would get Kento pretty much back up to full HP. Not entirely, but will get pretty close. It's obviously not going to happen here. Beastcoast are very deeply barricaded inside of this bomb site. Zeno and Anthony will fight for their lives in this position. If Surf dies in construction, then this house of cards comes down around them. Slash starts things off onto Kento. That Nitro Cell just needed to tickle him with how little HP he had. And that gives Beastcoast the first strike.
I like this hold. Surf inside of construction, crucial member as you mentioned, can hold the cross. Anthony on the table, great position as well.
Slash far enough back. All of Beastcoast are aligned in the same way, and Benji could have toyed with it, but Beastcoast's guns are just so much better right now. Benji and Dexter, the last 2 alive, and the Bandit sustaining some damage from Benji. The diffuser not in hand, it needs to be retrieved, so Benji will engage, and he loses it to Zeno. Dexter in a 1v4. Beastcoast have seemingly caught lightning in a bottle on these defenses. They just need to wait. Sit pat. There's frost mats on the board as well. If Dexter vaults into the wrong window and doesn't look down, he's as good as dead. Either way, seems unlikely that the round will go for Mirage. It's Beastcoast to hang on for the final 30 seconds. Dexter will talk, and you can see it. He's not moving a muscle, but guess whose hands are in motion in the bottom right of your screen? Mohesi. I think they're taking a timeout before a timeout right now, which I think is the smart plan to do. All goes according to plan. Mirage will lose this round. Beastcoast will win. They'll be one round away from tying it up.
You might as well in this case just talk it through. And the thing about Mirage is that their problem solving and their flexibility on their attacking rounds is not the greatest. And you know, Beastcoast played a very simple strategy. 2 members are just going to be boarded up inside of Cash Room, and then Serve and Slash will play both below and in construction to assist them. And against most teams in the NAL, I don't think that would have worked. I think if you put that entire round in replay, but against Base Station Gaming on the attacking side, I think they get torn apart flawlessly. Because strategically speaking, you don't have much going for you as Beastcoast, right? You're just stuck in a corner, holding an angle, and then you gotta pray that they can't really clear you. Well, they had grenades and Dexter on Sledge. He could have gone below. They could have used the exothermic charge on the floor to open up feed levels before Mo died early on. Xeno had soft breach on Sophia, could have gone below as well. So there were a ton of different options from Mirage that just weren't being utilized in that round. Whereas against any other team, I feel like they would. Either way, Beastcoast, they get to success, and they did play well together, and they did play their corners correctly because nobody exposed themselves unnecessarily throughout that round.
No timeout needs to be taken. Both still available. No official timeouts have been burned by either team, but we're going to start to see them popping up as there's only 3 more rounds remaining. Mirage only need 2 of those, but Beastcoast have clawed their way back in scrappy gunplay and good strategic depth. The one thing that I have to worry about for Mirage that a lot of newer teams end up confronting is nerves, frankly. Mirage are aware that if they win this match, they go to the major. That's looming large in the heads of the players. You talk to them in their post-match interviews, they will say that time and time again, that, you know, getting to the major is our goal. SI is almost completely out of reach for Mirage unless they go through some qualifiers to make it there, providing there are qualifiers to get to SI this year. I don't have any idea if there are, actually. But outside of that, Mirage are not making it on SI points. So the pressure in their head could be getting to them.
It could, especially when you start losing a couple of rounds in a row, right? Because Beastcoast, they have won both round number 8 and round number 9. This is where the pressure starts to get into your mind. If they lose the 3rd round in a row, you feel it slipping away. 2 minutes to go, though. Still early time in this round. It is a bar defense for Beastcoast. Last time Mirage, well, they succeeded. They got that bomb plant down inside the bar. The Yokai drone was not successful from Slash. He's on it once more. Can try his hand at it again.
Bomb located by attacker.
Jacuzzi opened up now as we hit the halfway point of this round. And Mirage have assembled quite well on this top floor. I like that we see Bar yet again. They're playing the statistics of these bomb sites. They acknowledge that CCTV and cache is very unfavorable for the defenders, and Beastcoast have no real desire to go there. So kudos to them for that. Instead, they go to Bar. They go to this Bar stage as their tertiary.
Also speaks to the roam clear again. You gotta take so much more map control and spend so many more resources. Like, a lot of things can go wrong when attacking this bomb side, right? We see it right now. They've gotten full top floor control with a minute to go. This is a little bit dire if you're Beastcoast, because once the sledge starts working its magic on the floor, there is no sledge. Once the IQ, I guess in this case, Dexter will use his soft breaching charges, then you'll start being in trouble. But you still got the yokai on the board that can slow you down. Sure, Dexter is also the IQ, can find those yokais, but it's hard to find them inside a bar.
Dexter could have potentially lost his shins there as he opens up that wall leading into stage. First pick is onto Xeno. Mirage with an advantage, hoping and praying for match point, but look at the time, 30 seconds to go, and guess what operator Slash is on? You'd guessed it, the Echo. Yet again, inside of Strip Club. Beastcoast waiting for the call. There's Benji, he loses the engagement, traded off, but Ferda gets dealt with as they literally trade each other. Slash trying to get this yokai in place. Can he get it there in time to stop Mohesi? No, Surf does it with his own weaponry, and he gets another 2 for his trouble. Surf ensures that it's just melted left, and it's Surf! A huge play from him! Goodness gracious. We have a tie game at 5 rounds apiece as Beastcoast have won 3 in a row.
And Surf really has been the player They're just yelling across the stage. Surf really has been the player for this Beast Coast lineup. Time and time again, he shows up, clutches it out, stops people from defusing, gets the plant down as well. He's been making really good decisions throughout stage 3 across the entire board. And it looks like there might be a tactical timeout. I see Mark getting answered the microphone. Yes, Mirage will call for a tactical timeout, which allows both coaches and both teams, both teams to talk to their individual coaches, not each other's coaches. So
how funny would that be?
Yeah, imagine you could just get like 12 people in the same call, and then one team will try and make a strategy, the other one will just try and disrupt them from talking, be like, ah!
It reminds me of early in the pandemic when they used to have those like public Zoom calls for like public consultations and government stuff, and everybody would just enter and nobody would be muted. It would be like the Royal Rumble in there. Just thousands of people's mics on, screaming, talking, shouting, babies crying, the earth collapsing around us.
Yeah. Yeah, there were a couple of those.
Mirage went on a tear. 5 of the first 7 rounds went in their favor, but now the defense catching up for Beast Coast. Is this a defender-sided Clubhouse? Well, the numbers suggest absolutely. But is it that Mirage are letting their own expectations get to them? Because as good as Beast Coast has been, and to be fair, we did not get to see a lot of Beast Coast on defense yesterday. So who knows? Maybe if Beast Coast had won that one defense that they had, we would have seen a much closer match between them and Space Station. But today, they definitely seem settled in for Beast Coast. Mirage having some great degree of difficulty on these. But on that church take, it was a 5v3. Mirage flubbed it. They had an advantage. It was a 5v4 on the previous bomb site. On bar stage, they flubbed that one as well. I have no doubt that expectations are playing a part in this matchup. And when you looked at Mirage's schedule, you said to yourself, okay, well, this is their gimme.
Yeah.
They're playing the worst team in the league, a team that they beat twice when Mirage was a worse team and Beast Coast was a better team. Surely this should be a walk in the park, and it has been anything but that. Mirage can only clinch with a win in regulation if Beast Coast wins this round. Even if Mirage ultimately win it all, Mirage will not clinch today and will have to go up against the final team next week.
Took a bit of time to get that Jacuzzi opened up, but once we got there, we're storming in once again, and Beast Coast, they gotta play this fine line, right? Because now the pressure all of a sudden is also on them. Oh my god, we're actually winning. We're doing this 3 rounds in a row. We forced their tactical timeout. One of their only tools back in this is their coach, right? If he has insight that he can bring to the side of Mirage, they can then fix those things around, and then all of a sudden, rounds go differently. The basement bomb site, it can be very hard to brute force on the attacking lineup. It's hard to get into the bomb site itself, especially if you lose Ace early on. Surf again shows up massively for his team. 8 kills to his name.
Beast Coast, prime position. We are watching it. This could be the upset of all upsets. The very first victory of the season for Beast Coast would deny Mirage a clinching of a major spot. I said I am unabashedly on this Mirage train. I'll be a bias caster. I don't care. I think it'd be exceptional to see this team make it to the major. It'd be a hell of a story. They got so much work to be done. In the sledge, Dexter very, very carefully smashing that floor and kitchen because those nitro cells going off. Neither have hit their targets, both Slash and Ferda, stopping them from being able to kill. It's a bit of wasted utility on their end. It sounded like Dexter's thermic charge got the kitchen hatch open, Nick, so if that's the case, yeah, good spot.
It's a big investment, both of those C4s, because they could have been used to deny the plant from going down. Now all you have to work with are going to be your toxic babes, essentially. 2 of those left in pocket of Anthony. 1 more goes out with 30 seconds left. This could go either way.
Nades tossed in. Valcamp still giving information. The nade goes down, and he manages to flush out the Valkyrie, but Mirage at a disadvantage. Diffuser being planted. Kento watching overhead, and they've still got control above. There goes Mohesi. Diffuser not planted. Kento to pick up. Dexter by his side, a 4v2. Surf is just waiting it out, and there he is! Surf the ace! Every kill, 2 great rounds in a row, and Beast Coast sit on match point.
There it is. I mean, Surf does it time and time and time again. I mean, we can make fun of him for walking into the same frost trap 2 times in a row in a CCTV attack, but now is a different story. And even in those rounds, he was still getting value, but this is absurd. A 4K into an ace. And now Beast Coast, They're the ones in match point. They've gotten 4 rounds in a row, and my prediction is still alive for the squad. They can still get their first victory. And at the very worst, we're going to overtime. Mirage are denied their major spot in this matchup, with this round being won by Beastcoast.
We talk about stakes here. There are 2 teams whose shot at the major hang in the balance of Beastcoast defeating Mirage in regulation. If Mirage is able to cauterize this wound, 4 rounds in a row for Beastcoast has now put Beastcoast on match point. If Mirage can cauterize this wound and go to overtime, it might boost Mirage's chances.
Yep.
The possibility of Mirage clinching is gone, so they cannot clinch a spot. They will go into the final Playday next week fighting for their own lives and fighting for their spot. But it's Xset and it's Dark Zero who suffer if we go to overtime. They are currently sitting at 11 points each. Mirage is at 14. If we go to overtime, Mirage will guarantee themselves at least 1 point with an OT loss. That'll bump them up to 15 points, tied with the Sonics. That is impossible for Xset and Dark Zero to overcome, as that'll be 4 points, and only 3 are available.
So an update for you guys right now. I believe the match is still going. We can see it on our end. But maybe the server crashed, I'm not sure. But essentially, we're back in. Okay, we're good. Round did not disconnect. We're still going from that same point. We're a minute into the round. It's going to be a gym defense with Beastcoast extending to CCTV. And what we're seeing right now is Mirage taking that first step, clearing garage, clearing the CCTV wall, and taking that first approach. This is the stronghold that got Beastcoast the beginning of their comeback, essentially. They're going to try similar setup again for this potential final round.
Beastcoast playing with all the confidence in the world. Surf, what was it, 9 kills in the last 2 rounds?
Yep.
Really showing his value on the team. Coming in huge with that ace in the previous one, too. Zeno taking a huge chunk of Benji's life away, and Anthony just got slapped into the other world. As there's Kento with pick number 1. Zeno droned out on the top of red stairs. He's got some ADSs sitting next to him, so if anything gets shot or thrown his way, they'll gobble it up. Kento pushing up, continuing forward. This is not a CCTV cache bomb site, even though it might look that way. And there goes the deployable shield. Zeno taking damage, well coordinated with an EMP. He's expecting a follow-up on the stairs. Instead, there will be a grenade thrown his way. Look at all of this being used onto Zeno, and yet he persists. The grenade goes in, but they finish him off. Mirage have got 2 big picks, but they've been in a 5v3 before and unable to close it out. Well, history repeat itself in the final minute.
Yep, of course, time is an issue. Third inside of office, if he hides it behind that table, it could really pay off for him later on. Frost traps, of course, they can get some value as well. We have a C4 on the table from Slash, we have Valkyrie cameras. All we need, if the clock is low, is to deny the plant from Mo.
Ferda could capitalize off of this as they creep up, and there you go. Dexter does not expect it. Ferda shaken off of his position. There's 2 silhouettes inside of construction. There's the jump in from Kento. Does Ferda turn around? No. Surf, the hero before, down for the count, but that's it for Ferda. It's Slash to clutch in a 1v3, or overtime goes in, and Xset and Dark Zero say goodbye to their major chances. Diffuser in the hands of Melted. Slash could stop this. Where are you with the Nitro Cell? But he picks the wrong area, and it goes down successfully. It's a swing and a miss. Could have been bad intel for Slash. Ascending up the stairs, making a lot of noise in the process. One to the left, one to the right. And he gets caught out by Benji. We're going to overtime. So long, Dark Zero and Xset. You got a long off season before SI because neither of those teams will make it to the major. Only 3 remain. If Mirage wins here in overtime, they do not clinch a spot. Sonics and Astralis will also be battling for that, and Mirage plays the Sonics in the final Playday.
Oh boy. Yeah. I love when final Playdays partially matters though for some teams because it sucks seeing like non-mattering games, but also some, teams already being guaranteed also nice to see because then both Playdays matter. Tactical timeout, of course, being forced out in OT as Beastcoast. They want to get a victory here regardless of overtime or regulation. And the qualifying probability, Parker just explained as well. So regulation win is, crossed out. That's not going to happen anymore for Mirage because we are in OT. So we're going to look at an 84% chance or a 76% chance for them going into the final Playday next week.
I put a big X over,
X.
yeah, making it in regulation. Not happening, Mirage. You can't get it done. Beastcoast playing the spoiler. Beastcoast have only one time made it to overtime, and they lost. That's where their single point came from, for those of you that are curious.
I feel like my prediction, I mean, even if Beast Coast, they technically lose in OT, I feel like I should still get rewarded a win for my prediction because one, I had the balls to do it, and two, they stopped Mirage from being guaranteed to the major, which basically is a victory in a way. But I still have faith in my boys, of course. They've got us this far.
Well, I mean, it's funny because if you look at it, Beast Coast has actually played spoiler to two potential teams now.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because it was Astralis. Beast Coast took Astralis to overtime back in Playday number 4. Beast Coast, of course, lost in overtime. But if Astralis had won that outright, they would have an extra point right now, and that could be making a huge difference for whether they make it to the major or not. Beast Coast still could absolutely win this match. I thought it was going to be far more one-sided. I didn't think that Beast Coast were going to be total bots, but I didn't think that it would. I didn't think that it would necessarily be this close. Surf guns down Kento through the Nitro sellout. It did not work, but the gun certainly performed just fine.
That's 13-5 to his name. Just keeps on finding value. Dex takes a bit of damage there from the kitchen hallway angle. And Beast Coast, I mean, it's a bar defense. We're playing all floors, all levels right now. Mo statistically has not had the best game so far, 1-8. Of course, Mo does play the supportive and leadership role for his team. When you're on the attack as third man on Clubhouse, you're not expected to really get kills, and you're often not in a position to get it either. Your duties and your values, they lie elsewhere. I like this approach from Dexter, going in from behind to try and get a flank on this bar bomb side. Yokai sees him. He denies it.
If you're worried about that echo being so prevalent, then you need to bring the IQ with you, Surf. 2 more kills. Goodness, goodness. The multi-kill rounds from Surf are so huge. And while he didn't exactly have the best game yesterday and had that frustrating bit at the beginning, he's been showing up huge today. Dexter finishes him off. Anthony inside a strip. Beast Coast swarming Mirage. Only 2 players on Mirage remaining. And they're just winning their gunfights. Melted probably should have had that one. Failed at it. And it's Benji Mula right now in a 1v4. Tags out Zeno. Has some troubles with the default cam. He's got lots of time. There's still over a minute left on the clock. We'll have to get the diffuser, but I'd be shocked if with 3 players on Beast Coast still upright, Benji's focus will be on the objective, especially with an Echo on the board. A hard support operator still sticking around. That'll be where he needs to find and kill these players, but he'll be under watch. A Valkyrie, an Echo, there's devices there to see where he's going to come from.
It's a very difficult round for sure. I mean, you can take a timeout and, you know, play for the long game, but you might as well try and clutch out this 1v3 because it is possible to win it. It is a winnable situation, although be it a low chance at that.
Just assuming that there's Valk cams in and around these parts. Beast goes far enough back. They're going to let Benji walk into the middle of the bomb site, and there he is. There's a Yokai over by the bar that's now going to be repositioned. Knocks him off. He sees it. And now Beast Coast will be pushed into action. But unfortunately, we're not going to see what's happening here. Instead, we'll get the upstairs view, and it's Anthony's Nitro Cell to move Beast Coast to match point.
That's a funny one, actually. I hadn't seen that one before. Look at the round. 7-6 in favor of Beast Coast, and again, it feels like when Surf is feeling it so much that he's just running out the map, finding kill to kill. He goes basement, gets Kenzo on that garage injury. Then he goes top floor, and when someone opened up the main stairs window, he just swung it and got that kill as well. Then he gets Yokai droned into strip, and he goes way further ahead of his teammates, tries to go for that 1-1 against Dexter, but gets shut down. But I love that Beast Coast, they continue their aggression with the Yokai drone inside a strip, shutting down Dexter so that they can focus all their attention towards the bar side of the map and ignore that flank potential. Was a huge win condition for them, and it really played into their favor when they did that. Now, we're seeing Mirage potentially in their final round on the defensive side. It's going to be basement. They're going to bring out that Mira again. Problem solving has to go well for Beast Coast, or we need Surf to get a bunch of kills. Either way, we saw Slashhawk hovering the Finke there for a brief moment. Going back to it, actually, if this lineup sticks, we have no heart breach at all.
There's no way, right? Oh, well.
We have no heart breach on a basement attack. We have Slash on Finca. What is happening, Parker?
Why do you have mini EMPs? Is the goal, like...
What are you EMPing? We're rushing dirt.
Oh my goodness, no.
But there's no way. Sledge isn't here. They can't get in. There's no soft breach. They can't actually get into this wall unless Sledge rotates all the way around because Anthony's the only person that can do it. There he is.
Da-da-da-da-da.
All right. Let's do it.
I love the comedy of Zeno standing there being like, left, right, come on. What are you doing?
There's only one member on site.
Oh, Hessy's the only one on site. They've been called back in, but the damning thing... Oh, is there's that door inside of dirt. They don't like it. They really, really don't. Instead, they use an EE1D to do what exactly? To drone out? Logic bombs go in as well. A quick assault. Could it be a blue take? There goes the hatch.
Honestly, had they rushed dirt immediately with Anthony, I think that would have worked. But they spotted the bomb. It gives away the fact that they know it. And because they haven't opened up the garage door, the main door, anywhere else, well, as a defender, you will just say, guys, they got to be rushing dirt because nowhere else is being applied pressure to. So too slow there. It could have worked out. We don't get to see it, sadly. And now you're attacking with no... They're going back to it. Are they double faking it?
What is happening here?
They're double faking
Is this some mastermind level play or...
I don't think so.
And they gone 6 their way right in, but then patiently wait. And now it's Mo Hesse. He's being watched. Dexter to fire back. Surf the very first pick, but the air jab goes off. Dexter goes through the wall before re-engaging onto the Finca. And he gets 2 for his trouble. Mirage coming out ahead in this slugfest. Ferda with limited information. The bullets whizzing all over the place. Melted shutting him down, and the dig on the Surf. We're going all the way, boys and girls. 15 rounds on the board.
I don't understand anything that I just witnessed.
That is, oh my.
I mean, yeah, so they were going to rush dirt, then they didn't. They faked that they were going to go blue, then they didn't. They went back to dirt. One guy dropped the blue hatch. The flashbangs were actually very nicely coordinated on that mirror on third box, and they got the opening kill. They got initial control, but Dexter finding 2 kills was such a crime. And it's the only reason why Mirage actually won that round, because it shut down the initial tempo from Beastcoast and shut down that rush. No plan could be established, and it was just chaotic from that moment forward. I don't think anybody truly knew what was really going on in that round, in that server, and I don't blame them for it because it was so messy. But now we are on a guaranteed final round. There's no infinite OT. Once we enter overtime, we're playing 3 rounds. Beastcoast, they get 2 times to defend. Mirage, well, they have 2 tries to attack. The winner of this round is the winner of the match. Beastcoast are guaranteed a point, so are Mirage. Basement with Goyo, with Valkyrie, we got 3 C4s from Beastcoast. At least one of those surely will get a kill this round. And Surf on his signature Goyo operator with that Vector in hand. He's quite a lethal player, and he plays so aggressively off it as well, because when you have a passive gadget like the Vulcan shields, or Vulcan canisters rather, you just slap them down on sight, you go upstairs and roam, and even if you die, your gadget can still help your teammates later on in the round. He also is the sole roamer, it's just him.
This has been an unbelievable matchup. One that has no right being as entertaining as it has been, and yet here we are watching and witnessing an act of God, frankly. I'm not a religious man, but I do believe in divine intervention from time to time, baby, and we are seeing some of it right now as God himself intervening, or herself, intervening to give us a thrilling matchup. Mirage quickly enter the building. They go through Jacuzzi Wall. They will find nothing as Beastcoast are currently doing a late setup. What a showing it's been from Surf. Right as I say that, he completely botches the Nitro Cell.
It also does some damage if there's a member there, for sure. But it's not quite on the ceiling, but it's close to it. Might actually... I'm not sure how he's going to pop it. If it's like based off sound, or... It's just not going to get popped. Whatever. Oh, there it is.
Ooh.
A little bit late.
Goes a bit late. No damage done whatsoever to Mirage. Halfway point of the round.
I like the rat play.
It's Adam's spot.
It is Adam's spot. I like it because you have Zeno baiting it, so that he's going to kill the drone, you stay in a hide. They're going to think differently of it. They're going to rotate over back towards the bomb set because the pressure is now being applied. Moto and Kitchen Hatch are going to start being opened up. Church Wall has a soft wall on the third-hand side, right side from main stairs. Kenzo can open up with Sophia if he wants to.
This is a must-win situation for Mirage if you want to look at the major odds. They only get above 50%. If they lose here in regulation, if they lose in overtime, they're still in good shape, but you're fighting against Sonics next week, where the winner of that will likely be one of the two teams that make it. I don't know if there's a time where Astralis, I guess if they lose, both Mirage and the Sonics make it, but Mirage and Sonics play second match. Astralis later on in the day. So you'll be sitting there waiting, becoming a huge fan of their opponents. Noises as explosions go off. Oh, tons of explosions. There goes the Goyo canister. Soft wall opened up by Pulse Spot. And Anthony will smoke off the bottom of main stairs, but Mirage are quick to get in. Suddenly they've hopped right in and the killing shall begin. Mohesi with diffuser in hand, but Anthony shuts two of them down with the shotgun. Could more be there for him as well? Mohesi manages to get the diffuser down. Surf bleeding out, and it's Dexter in a 1v3.
He's above.
He is above, but they're gonna hunt him down. One needs to hop on the diffuser while another pushes him, and that's where you have to pick. Do you die? Do you stop them? Drone shot out and Surf clutches! Mirage will not be able to do this at all. They wait till next week to see if they go to the major. Beastcoast win their first match of the stage. 8-7 over Mirage.
And it's Surf dropping 16 kills, I believe. Massive performance from him. And,
Since the rehost.
Oh, yeah. Wait. Oh, my God. Wait, you're right. There was a rehost early on. There's more kills on the table.
I think Benji's body language just said it himself. There's devastation across the benches of Mirage. Next week, they will go toe-to-toe with the Sonics. Oh, boy.
All right.
Mirage. So close, yet very, very far. This was a meaningless game for Beastcoast. Meaningless! And guess what? They still pulled it out. What an incredible showing by Beastcoast, and what an incredible match as well.
Sometimes it's about sending a message, Parker, and that they did.
What was the message?
That they can win a game in the entire stage of NAL.
Well, I mean, there were some good looks, and I'm sure the desk would love to talk about that, but we have some contractual obligations, aka ads. Woo! Let's go to a quick break, and then we'll come back, and we'll hear the desk talk about that match.
Champagne Perrier, vintage friends on my face, looking like I'm from the deep. These no Cartiers, pockets deep, bro. I can make it in my seat, bro. Do you, I'm doing me, bro. Making noise, use a peep, bro. Whoa, I press the button and the doors go up like, whoa. That money clip us now, the new now looks like, whoa. Upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like, whoa. Neighborhood on the scene, neighborhood on the strip. Neighborhood be the name. Neighborhood no crib. Neighborhood that's me. Neighborhood that's Nick. Neighborhood do the dance. Neighborhood do the dip. Okay, thought I'd never make it like no way. I'm the real deal, no role play. My days off, that's no days. No, I hustle hard, young rose. E be the shooter, that's cold case. Those on the deals, that's brose. Got no pay, don't no say. Okay, this the news, tell them read it. Been the one since the fetus. Don't sleep on me, Tempur-Pedic. That's a no. Spending dope for no reason. Got a ball head, Mr. Cleaner. Heard the big bags overseas, then we gon' go. Whoa, I press the button and the doors go up like, whoa. That money clip us now, the new now looks like, whoa. Upgrade her diamonds,
And just like that, Dark Zero have been eliminated from Sweden major contention, and Beastcoast pick up their first win of the stage. Xset as well, eliminated from major contention. Mirage not yet eliminated from major contention, but they didn't get the spot like they wanted to today. This is a rivalry, right? I mean, I feel like it's poetic what happened today, and it turns out we got none other than Slash Hug waiting to chat with us over in Las Vegas. Slash, how you doing? Thanks for joining us.
Doing good.
Good,
Yeah,
I bet.
Good to talk to you finally.
Exactly, yeah. First win of the stage, finally getting it done. And I feel like it couldn't have come at more of a poetic time, right? With Mirage kind of being the major gatekeepers for Beastcoast in stage 1, stage 2. Now here you get a little bit of a chance for revenge. What was the team's kind of mindset coming into this one, given the history of the matchup in stage 1 and stage 2?
We obviously wanted to, give them back what they gave to us, preventing us from going to the major, which I don't think we did. I think they still have a chance, but it was more, I think, today about proving to ourselves that we could win and hang with the good teams in the league.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have been working towards this win all stage long. It's something that, of course, you have struggled to find throughout the stage so far. But talk to me a little bit about what kind of the mental's been like for you guys, what the attitude's been like, and if this kind of lifts the weight off your shoulders, or do you feel like there's still kind of a lot of work that you need to get done here?
I think, it's like a turning point for us. After our, awful performance yesterday, we had a kind of a talk yesterday about kind of like confidence, and we felt like some people were not confident enough in like taking advantages. And it's stuff we would do in practice, but on game day we were hesitant, we were scared. And I think losing just like fed more and more into that. But I think yesterday we finally broke through to the players that we can win, we can take advantages versus these guys. They're not that much better than us, and they're not even in some cases better than us. So I would say it was like a huge turning point for us today.
Alrighty, so as soon as we saw the defensive swap for you guys, we saw Surf go absolutely massive. Was this something of you just letting Surf off the leash and go absolutely crazy, or more so with some sort of facilitation from you?
A lot of it was just our general mindset today was to play a little more aggressive on both sides of attack and defense. He obviously I think could take advantage of that better than anyone else on the team. He's really good at just getting a pick, making plays like that. But it was also more of a team effort to try to back up the aggressive plays, back up, going for early peaks so that we're not just dying we would get a trade. Fortunately, I think Surf just won the fight 95% of the time. So, yeah, I mean, it was just the whole mentality today was to play way more aggressive and, stop being so scared.
I know a lot of the conversation for you guys for most of the stage has been what's been happening, all of the different caveats that you can throw on this stage, from playing with Mark to not being able to play with Fred to start things off. And it's weird to go from a stage 1 that was on the cusp for you guys, and then all of a sudden this massive slip happens. Is there anything specific you want to say kind of about how it's been behind the scenes to play when things haven't been going the way you've been expecting them to?
It's tough, especially after we stopped playing with Mark. And we had Mark, we kind of had an easy excuse. We're playing with our coach, we win that with Ferda. In reality, the issues went way deeper than just we were playing with Mark. I think the more we lost, the more it boiled over, and eventually we just hashed it all out. I guess you would call it not internal issues, but internal to the players' selves, if that makes sense, in your head. I think there was just some mental barriers we had to get by. But I don't think anyone ever got too discouraged. Our plan was not, obviously we wanted to make the major, do as well as we could, but our plan was mostly looking to the future. This is not a short-term thing we're trying to do. We're trying to build a team that's good long-term.
Makes sense, yeah, with the additions, with the changes, and congrats on the first step in that with the win here today over Mirage, and thanks for taking the time for chatting with us.
Cool, thanks.
He got his interview finally.
Indeed, yeah, and they got their win finally. Beastcoast getting the win over Mirage 8-7. Mirage not knocked out of major contention quite yet, but it's going to be much more difficult for them now.
Yeah, it's nice to see Beastcoast in here playing with more of that confidence. I love that kind of answer that we heard there in the interview where Beastcoast were playing a little scared because we did see that in previous games. Of course, I think their match against Xset last week kind of showed that off as them being really afraid in a lot of these situations to lose those gunfights, to get into those gunfights. Now we see Zeno, of course, really stepping up 10 and 11 in this game. Surf kind of put the team on his back a little bit. The only positive player, sorry, there was a 9-8 player there as well, but still he got a good chunk of kills. But still, it was like a team effort. We saw massive improvements from Beastcoast overall, and you love to see it from a team that, of course, hasn't really had the greatest of stage.
I mean, especially given that map selection, that was probably the
was
single
worrying.
biggest criticism, obviously. But I am happy that Slash mentioned that conversation that they had. It kind of sounds like a come to Jesus type moment where they realized they actually can play a little bit more into their own skill set and not play nearly as passively as they had been in that game against Space Station. And they also got a complete half on the other side of things too to really showcase what was different from yesterday to today. Yes, it was a big concern. I think ultimately, if only for this weird little mini redemption story that I think happened today, now that I think about it in hindsight, I think I'm actually glad they went to Clubhouse. But only because they won. Only because they showed that there is a little bit more to showcase here.
What a turnaround. Well, one thing we talked about a little bit earlier, too, is kind of the impact that Surf had in this game, and that's what our replay is all about. We're going to take a look at round number 11, and this was Surf basically killing everybody.
Yep, Surf gets an ace, and there's not that many aces that we've had so far in the NAL. I think this is our 4th ace so far this stage. Starts off with a nice little pick here in blue stairs, able to take down Benji on the upside on Repel. Finds a few more as this kit starts to go down. This is a heavily advantaged position for Beastcoast, of course, and Surf down in the back of Armory has a really good angle to spot these players out. Don't know why they haven't called his position here. It seems like they are unaware of where he's at, but of course playing back behind there in Armory. Beautiful couple of shots there to close it out and get the ace.
Yeah, and probably the almost saddest thing to see was a lot of the late round issues from Mirage that we were saying might have been fixed and we saw fixed on Villa. It seems like they kind of reared their ugly head once again. The early round wasn't necessarily the worst thing in the world. There were opening kills. There was more than anything taking map control with authority on those attacks. We got good drone tradage and stuff like that. But when it got to the execute phase, there was just the ability. There were small gaps in timing that people like Surf were able to just pop up and destroy everyone.
Yeah, and I mean, we've talked about Mirage kind of throwing a little bit in the second half of the game, especially when they've got to be on attack. I don't know if that was the exact same story that we saw from Mirage previously, but again, like the mental for this team, when they get into that second half, when the stakes get really, really high and you just need to chain together 1 or 2 attacks, falling apart again for Mirage. It's really tough to see for the squad, who have looked good all stage long, but just can't seem to find those final couple points sometimes.
Yep, that's right. And they've got an even more difficult task next week now to try to make the major. We'll have to look forward to that game. Next week, once again, we're going to have a day, our day 9 of a stage that decides a lot of players going to the major, a lot of teams going to the major. Should be a fun